The cava superior, you already know that it opens into right atrium. And it forms with the help of two brachiocephalic veins, vena brachiocephalica dextra and vena brachiocephalica sinistra. And only one vein opens directly into superior vena cava, that is azygos vein. It is unpaired vein, azygos. We will speak about this vein next time. Today, just name of this vein, and it opens into superior vena cava. Brachiocephalic vein, it forms with the help of internal jugular vein and subclavian vein. And it is the same. What opens into brachiocephalic? It receives, this is thyroid gland. Inferior thyroid vein, vena thyroidae inferior, vertebral vein, vena vertebralis, and internal thoracic vein, vena thoracica interna. They opens into brachiocephalic vein. In your textbook describes that external jugular vein, vena jugularis externa, external jugular vein. Sometimes this vein opens into venous angle in place where internal jugular joined with subclavian, in this place. But more frequently, external jugular vein opens into subclavian. It's maybe this way, maybe it opens into venous angle. And external jugular vein, it receives anterior jugular vein, vena jugularis anterior, opens into external jugular, and external jugular opens into subclavian. Now, internal jugular, this is internal, it is external jugular. External jugular forms with the help of occipital vein, vena occipitalis. The same it receives vena auricularis posterior. It is also, we have retromandibular vein, vena retromandibularis, retromandibular vein, vena retromandibularis, and vena retromandibularis forms with the help of vena temporalis superficialis and vena maxillaris. They make external jugular. External jugular receive vena suprascapularis, suprascapular vein. Vena suprascapularis opens into external jugular. And I said that it is anterior jugular vein, and here it is the same anterior jugular vein, which opens into external jugular. And above of jugular notch, between right and left anterior jugular veins, we have anastomosis. That is arcus venosus juguli. Arcus venosus juguli. Jugular arch. Arcus venosus juguli between right and left anterior jugular veins. What about internal jugular? Internal jugular vein has intracranial inflows and extracranial inflows. I think you remember what is this opening? Foramen jugularis. Jugular foramen, that is place where internal jugular vein start. It starts from jugular foramen. Here it is beginning of internal jugular vein. And inside of skull, we have specific structures. They are sinuses. Look here, that is bones of the skull, for example, frontal or parietal bones. And here we have hard meninx, dura mater, that is hard meninx of brain. And this meninx, dura mater, it makes falx cerebri, which separates right and left hemisphere. And dura mater fused with bones. There is no space between dura mater and bone and periosteum. Here and here it is the same. There is no space. But in this place, look here, between bones and two layers of dura mater, we have space, and this space has name sinus. And in this sinus, venous blood take place, deoxygenated blood. That is superior sagittal sinus, I put here number 1. It starts from frontal bone, continues to parietal bone, and finished here in this place, in protuberans accipitalis interna. That is place where superior sagittal sinus finished. Another sinus is here. Yes, this is transverse sinus. This is sulcus sinus transversi, and this sulcus together with dura mater makes sinus transversus. Who remember what is this groove? For which sinus?
Sulcus.
Sulcus nervi.
No, this is sigmoid sinus. Good. This is, it is groove sulcus sinus sigmoid, and together with dura mater, between bone and dura mater, we have sinus sigmoidus. Now, here in this place, here, we have superior petrosal sinus. Here it is inferior petrosal sinus. In this place, we have occipital sinus, and occipital sinus subdivides into two. They are sinus marginalis, near the border of foramen magnum, sinus marginalis. And this sinus also goes to jugular foramen, here and here. Another sinus is along of lesser wing of sphenoid bone, here and here. That is sinus sphenoparietal sinus. This sinus continues into cavernous sinus, sinus cavernosus, laterally from sella turcica, and from cavernous sinus, blood goes to inferior petrosal and goes to jugular foramen, or superior petrosal, sigmoid sinus, and jugular foramen. Superior sagittal sinus. This place has name confluence, place where some sinuses join together, confluence, sinum, and from confluence one way through transverse sinus, sigmoid sinus, and jugular foramen. Another way from confluence, occipital sinus, marginal sinus, and jugular foramen. Another sinus, which is impossible to see here because this sinus only between two layers of dura mater, here it is, that is inferior sagittal sinus, and inferior sagittal sinus continues into straight sinus, and straight sinus opens into confluence. But we can see all of them here. You already should answer which sinus is here. This is dura mater, bones of the skull, and this is superior sagittal sinus, which comes to confluence. This is inferior sagittal sinus, and inferior sagittal sinus continues into straight sinus. Straight sinus, this part of dura mater has name falx cerebri, and this is tentorium cerebelli, and between falx and tentorium, straight sinus, and straight sinus opens into confluence. This is sphenoparietal sinus. Here it is cavernous sinus. All another sinuses not so easy to see because all of them below of tentorium. That is why sinus petrosus superior, sinus petrosus inferior, sigmoid sinus, occipital, and marginal sinus. All of them, it is better to show in this base of the skull. Only here we can see inferior sagittal sinus and straight sinus, because they are all these two sinuses between dura mater. Bones not participate in these two sinuses. All another sinuses between bone and dura mater. That is, we can see them here. And all sinuses, all of these sinuses, are intracranial inflows of internal jugular vein. This is sinuses which opens into internal jugular vein. They are intracranial. Another intracranial inflows are ophthalmic vein, and ophthalmic vein usually opens into
Fissura.
they passes here, but it opens into cavernous sinus. Vena auditiva from inner ear, vena auditiva, they opens into superior and inferior petrosal sinuses. And vena cerebri magna, large vein of the brain. This vein, vena cerebri magna, opens into the place where inferior sagittal sinus continues into straight. In this place, it is place where vena cerebri magna opens into this place. That is, some veins, and all sinuses, they are intracranial inflows. And extracranial inflows, which veins directly opens into internal jugular vein. Facial vein, lingual vein, superior thyroid vein, sometimes
Maxilla.
maybe middle thyroid vein. In your textbook it is absent. And pharyngeal veins, vena pharyngia, pharyngeal veins opens into internal jugular. One again, facial,
Lingual,
lingual,
pharyngeal,
pharyngeal,
superior thyroid, and media. Sometimes.
That is all. That is all. Veins of the head and neck. Veins of the head and neck and system of superior vena cava. Give me a textbook. You will answer these veins in skull and in this preparate. That is why it is necessary. This is system of superior vena cava, brachiocephalic vein, and I already said that external jugular in your textbook here in brachiocephalic vein, but I said that it opens into subclavian, and here in text, opens to the subclavian vein or into venous angle. That is why in text the same present information that external jugular vein opens into subclavian or into venous angle. But it describes in brachiocephalic vein. It is not so good. But you should remember about this. And brachiocephalic veins of the head and neck till here. Yes, veins of upper extremity not necessary till this place.